Yeah. You're connected to computer. Okay. Yeah. Unmute. Recording. Pause. Okay. So just admitted you, Abhi? Oh, Hardeep. No, that's somebody else. Okay. Admit. Okay. Hardeep Chaudhary. So, okay.
अच्छा तुसी record भी कर रहे हो शायद
नहीं अभी नहीं recording की थी. We'll turn the recording. Oh, recording on right now. Okay, recording. Thank you. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Welcome to Interactive Sukhmani Sahib Ji session. We completed 17 Ashpadis. As of last sessions, we'll start on 18 Ashpadi today. Before we start our discussion, I will recite the sloks from the Ashpadis which we have done so far. You can recite on your mute. I'll point to the slok which I'm reciting. So I'll cover 4 or 5 of them and then we'll start discussion. Adi Gure Namahe Jugad Gure Namahe Sat Gure Namahe Shri Guru Deve Namahe Deen Darad Dukh Panjana Kat Kat Nath Nath Saran Tumhari Ayo Nanak Ke Prabh Saath दिन हार प्रभ छोड़ के लागे आन सुआए नानक कहू न सीझई बिन नावे पत जाए करण कारण प्रभ एक है दूसरे नाही कोई नानक तिस बलिहारणै जल थल महियल सोए तजो सियान पिसुर जन्हो सिमरहो हर हर राय एक आस हर मन रखो नानक दुख परम पाव जाए रूप न रेख न रंग किछ त्रय गुण ते प्रभ भिन्न तिसहि बुझाए नानका जिस होवै सुप्रसन्न आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच. So those are the 17 Ashpadis we have covered so far. So in the last 2 Ashpadis we saw, if I go back to the sloks, it says रूप न रेख न रंग किछ त्रय गुण ते प्रभ पिन तिसे बुझाए नानका जिस होवे सुप्रसन्न. So this is where he's introducing us to that concept that Guruji is saying that Prabhu is pin from that Trayagun, right? And then he tells us all the qualities of the Prabhu and the Trayagun and all of that, the differences. He tries to tell us all of that. I'm going to start this time for I didn't do that. So sorry about that. So Roop na Rekh na Rang Kishtra hai Gun te Prabhpin. So Satguruji is telling us there, it's a very distinct way he's trying to tell us that Prabhu is different from that Trahegun, Maya, right? So he's kind of acknowledging that both of them exist there, right, for us. Then right after that, in the whole Ashpadi we did, last 2 weeks, right? Aaj sach chukaat sach. Then he brings to us the Sat. He calls him Sat throughout the Ashtapadi. He's saying that the truth, the Sat Naam, that Sat Prabhu, he's trying to tell us and introduce us to that concept of that really exists there. And that Sat is where how all those realized beings are remain connected to him, to that Sat, through the Naam, right? So that's what we just, in the past couple of Ashpadis, those are the concepts which were in a very nice way told to us, right, by Sadhguru. So in this, so we'll move on to the 18th one. I'll recite it and then we'll start discussing that. This is again, it's about, now he's introducing us to the Sat Guru, right? So he talked about the Sat Purak, that one and only Vaheguru, who is truth, who is true. In this Ashtapadi, he's now introducing us to Sat Guru. And Sat Guru, based on all the grunts, old grunts, is that spiritual enlightened being who is one. They also say Satguru is like a Sargun Sroop of Parbrahm himself. There's a Nirgun Tragun to Pare Sroop, but Satguru is a Sroop of a Parbrahm Paramatma himself. And Satguru is the one who connects you to that Vaheguru, right? To that one and only Akal Purakh Paramatma, that Prabhu. So he's introducing that Satguru to us in this Ashtapadi. So start reciting that. Slok Sat Purakh Jin Janaya, Satgur tis ka naam, tis ke sang sikh udharai, Nanak har gun gao. He says in the slok, Sat Purakh Jin Janaya. So in the previous Ashtapadi, he's telling us about that Sat Purakh. He says that one and only divine Akal Purakh, that Sat Purakh, who knows this, understood. That person is Satgur. Satgur tiska now. Tiske sang sikh udhre, Nanak har gun gao. So now it's very important to bring in that concept. The Sikh, the learner, the seeker, the spiritual seeker gets emancipated, udharda hai, is liberated in the sangat, in the company of that Satguru. That's very important. How also? It says Nanak Hargun Gao. He understands that Hari through Satguru, and then udharda kidda hai? By praising that Hari. It says by gun gao, it always comes as by singing the glorious praises of God. And then later he describes by connecting to the Naam, by knowing the Naam. Right? So there is various definitions of various verses like in Gurbani, which tells about Satguru, right? Right? It says, so Satguru just hriday har now, right? It says, Sat Purakh Jin Janaya, Satguru tiska now. Right? So there's various ways they've tried to describe that this is the true Satguru, right? Pura Guru also, right? So after introducing that in the slok, then he tells more in the Ashtapadi. The first pada of the Ashtapadi will do. Ashtapadi Satgur Sikh ki karai pratpal, Sevak ko gur Sada Dayal, Sikh ki gur durmat mal hirai, Gur bachni har naam uchrai, Satgur Sikh ke bandhan kaatay, Gur ka Sikh bikar tehatay, Satgur Sikh ko naam tan de, Gur ka Sikh vad bhagi hai, Satgur Sikh ka halat palat saware, Nanak Satgur Sikh ko ji naal samare. So in the slok, he's saying that Sikh, the seeker, he needs the sang of Satguru. Then in the Pada, saying Satguru Sikh ki kare pratapal. Is that Satguru, he supports, he's taking care of, he cherishes, sustains, takes care of that Sikh. Sevak ko gur sada dayal, that devotee of him, the devotee of that Satguru, that Guru is always merciful to the one in his service. Sikh ki gur durmat mal hire. Gur bachni har naam uchre. So what is it? What is it which comes in our way to get that awakening? Is that durmat? Durmat hundi hai na, jehdi galat mat hue. They translate evil always, but galat jehdi mat hegi hai na. Durmat mal hira, jehdi that filth mal hira is take away. Nash ho jandi hai. So that durmat, that filth of that wrong knowledge, right? That filth of that evil intellect is what they've translated here, is gone. Mal hai, so they're trying to call it washing away. But hira means ki nash ho jandi hai, is destroyed. Sikh ki gur, oh seeker, that for that Sikh, his that durmat, in a way all the doubts are removed, right? That galt mat jehdi ode vich kiri hoi hai, jehdi galt mat vich kirya hoya hai Sikh, that is gone. That is washed away by Gur. Gur bachni har naam uchre. Gur bachni, by the bachan, by the teachings of that Guru, that seeker, ucharda hai, says, chants, har naam, harida naam ucharda hai. Satgur Sikh ke bandhan kaate. What else? Through the Satguru, that seekers, the bondage, all kind of bondages to Maya, it gets cut away through that Satguru. Gur ka Sikh bikar te hate. This is all the doings he does, which are bikar, and bikar are the doings which are not, which are done in more in an attraction and the pull from the Maya than your being with that one connection, right? Those are the bikar things, right? Which is just going to add to the karmas, add to more wrong too. You chakravyuh which hor and hor, like chikkar which hor faste jana, right? Gur ka Sikh, oh jehde bikar karna hai, te hat janda. Start abstaining from those. Once he comes in the company of the Guru, the Sikh of the Guru abstains from those kind of deeds which takes him away from that one divine path. Satguru Sikh ko naam tan de. He says that Satguru naam tan denda hai. That ki dena ki hai Satguru ne. He gives him that wealth of that naam. Satguru has that naam, and he gives Sikh that wealth of that naam. That whole Gurbani is a naam for us, right? Sukhmani Sukhamrit Prabh naam, right? It's that medium of connecting in whichever way Sadguru gives. It gives through Gurbani, it gives through Vaheguru mantra, but Sadguru gives that to Sikh. This is your medium, right? Gur ka Sikh vad pagi hai. It is very fortunate are the seekers, are those Sikh of Gurus. Satguru Sikh ka halat palat sawar hai. Halat palat is used for this world and the world beyond. Halat this world, palat is the world beyond, the next world. Sawar dinda, theek kar dinda, fixes it. Sawar ke rakhta, arranges this world and the next world. Nanak Satguru Sikh ko ji naal samare. He says with his heart, with the fullness of his heart, Satguru takes care, samare sambalda hai onu, support karda hai. He takes care of his Sikh with fullness of his heart. We do the next pada and then we'll open for discussion. Guru ke grahe sevak jo rahe, Guru ki aagya मन में सहे, आपस को कर कछ ना जनावे, हर हर नाम हृदय सद त्यावे, मन बेचै सतगुर के पास, तिस सेवक के कारज रास, सेवा करत होए नहीं कामी, तिसको होत प्राप्त स्वामी, अपनी कृपा जिस आप करे, नानक सो सेवक गुर की मत ले। जिस गुर के ग्रह सेवक जो रहे, गुर की आज्ञा मन में सहे. So when that sevak resides in that guru's grahas, it says guru's household, gur ki agya man mein rahe, then he stays there by obey all the commands, agya, whatever he's telling him to do, he's obeying them all in his mind. आपस को कर कछ ना जनावे, अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਜਨਾਵਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, oh look at me, I'm doing so great. आपस को कर कछ ना जनावे, he doesn't call upon telling about himself, attention to me, look what I have become, I'm doing your seva. He doesn't do that. Instead, har har naam hriday satyave, he's continually sad tyave, in his heart, remembering the name of Vaheguru. Man bechay satgur ke paas, tis khevak ke karaj ras. Man bechay, his mind, he sells it to Satguru. Tis sevak ke karaj ras. How nice is that Satguru takes your mind and gives you naam, right? Man bechay Satgur ke paas, bech denda Satguru, no? This sevak ke karaj ras, then, even all the tasks, all the affairs that humble servant is doing, they are all resolved too. Once he attunes his mind towards Satguru's mind, jadon ne tune kar liya hai, right? Then jede bhi karaj hai, they are all getting resolved by itself. Seva karat hoye neh kami, and this becomes important, right? Karaj sare ras hoge, but how is he doing that? With what is in his mind, with what he's doing, neh kami, without any kamna, without any desire, selfless service. That's the kind of service he's doing. He's not asking for rewards, or he's not even truly in his heart, in his mind, he's not thinking. He's not asking that I'm doing this because I need this. While doing that, performing that seva, he himself becomes above that asking for anything. Tisko hot prapat swami. So such is the being who actually attains God and master. So seva karat hoye nekami tisko hot prapat swami. This is also, he's now being, he is attached to Satguru. He has awareness of how to live that life as a being in connection with that Vaheguru. And because he's doing that, and then he attains Vaheguru. Apni kripa jis aap kare, Nanak so sevak gur ki matle. He says that Vaheguru, whosoever upon whom he grants his grace, that such a humble servant is able to receive all of that mat from Sadguru. That selfless servant lives the Guru's teachings. Basically saying, Gur ki mat le, such is the person who is able to receive all the teachings from that Sadguru. Right, I see one question. It says halat palat. So halat palat is mostly used as halat is this world, palat is that next world. Generally, it's just say for our life, we understand these two things because we have a realization that there's something beyond this life too. That is there in everybody, right? Although we are very occupied in our own life and existence, and it doesn't matter to us, our understanding beyond this, right? But still we have a feeling, we have some awareness of that beyond. We have seen others around us who have gone to that beyond world. We have that connection, right? So that palat is related to your life beyond this human life. That's what it says. Oh, sabnu is swar dinda, ace life nu vi swar dinda, ugly life nu vi swar dinda, halat palat swar hai. That's what it is. If there's no more question or comment, I'll move on. बीस बिसवे गुर का मन माने, सो सेवक परमेश्वर की गत जाने, सो सतगुर जिस हृदय हर नाव, अनेक बार गुर को बल जाओ, सर्व निधान जी का दाता, आठ पहर पार ब्रह्म रंग राता, ब्रह्म में जन, जन में पार ब्रह्म, एक है आप नहीं कछ परम, सहस सियानप लया ना जाए, नानक ऐसा गुर वड पागी पाए. How nicely they're telling the qualities of the Sadgurus. So this is truly telling qualities of our Sadgurus, right? There's also different levels of the people who call them spiritual teachers and all, but Sadguru is that level who is himself a sarup of that Parmeshwar, right? So 20 bisve gur ka man mane, so sevak Parmeshwar ki gaj jane. 20 bisve ki hoya, 20 is 20. बिस्वे बिघे जमीन हुंदी है ना, land, the 1/20th part is called bisve. So it's trying to tell 20 out of 20, like 100%. Gur ka man mane, by from all his mind he obeys that sevak, so sevak Parmeshwar ki gaj jane. Such a sevak who obeys Guru's teachings by his heart and by his mind, such a sevak understands the state of that one and only God. So sevak Parmeshwar ki gaj jane. So Satgur jis hriday har now. So again, it is that such a being is called Sadguru, is a true Guru whose heart is filled with the name of Vaheguru, who has that now in his heart. Anik bar gur ko bal jao, says many times, anik bar, I am sacrificed to such a Guru who has that naam in him, and I can get access to naam through him. Then he says about Sadguru, Sarab Nidhan ji ka data. Sarab Nidhan, all kinds of treasures. Sarab, all Nidhan, treasures. Ji ka data, also the giver of life. Aat Peher par Brahm Rang Rata. He said that being in a human body who is a Satguru, 24 hours, 8 pahar, he's imbued with Parbrahm, with the love of that Parbrahm, with that supreme God. Pare Brahma, pare to pare, trahe gun to pare Brahm, right? That's what Paros. Rang Rata, us Parbrahm, supreme God, they rang vich rangya. Brahm mein jan, jan mein Parbrahm. He says he's that kind of Jan to Vaheguru that Brahm himself is inside him and he is inside that Parbrahm. Right? So this is, here the servant is used for that Jan, that Satguru, who is in that Parbrahm and Parbrahm is in him. Ek hai aap. He is the one who is one by himself. He's so much imbued, they're so much together, they're so much one thing. They're eke aap, he himself is one. Nahi kuch param, there's no doubt to it. So this is all it's telling what that's how the Satguru is. He's ek with that Vaheguru. Sahas syanap laya na jaiye, Nanak aisa guruvard pagi bhaiye. Sahas is thousands of Syanapa tricks, clever tricks is what it is used here for. Leana jaiye, you cannot obtain by all those clever tricks. Aisa guruvard pagi bhaiye. That kind of Satguru, O Nanak, is obtained by a very great fortune. And that's what all this Gurbani is for us. This is Satgurus. It's a sroop of Satguru, right? He says that's how fortunate is anybody who receives that kind of knowledge from Satguru.
Just to a little more understand, this word has been
any
used quite
comments
frequently.
so far? Anything?
Can you hear me?
Any questions, Avtarji? You want to clarify something else?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Leena ji, can you hear her?
I wasn't able to hear you. I think there was something on my speaker.
Okay. Hanji Hardev ji, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to understand a little more on this word sacrifice. Guru Nanak Dev Ji also has used this word quite frequently, sacrifice to the God and sacrifice to the Guru.
बलिहारी बहुत बारी यूज किया है ना हुन बलिहारी ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ sacrifice ਕਹਿ ਰਹੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੋ ਉਹ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦਾ phrase ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ real sacrifice ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ because oh I'm sacrificed to you ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਬਲਿਹਾਰੀ ਦਾ I don't know what can be the other very nice English ਬਲਿਹਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਵਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਵਾਰੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬਲਿਹਾਰੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ so is that what can be the other good thing but yes it's used many times ko bal jao right so balihare jana balihare kudrat vasya
it's like a gratitude is it
hanji
it's like a gratitude to the God or Guru
bal jana that I am all for you it actually means that my life it actually really means I can sacrifice my life and my everything to you. That's what actually it really means. So फिर ऐदा कह देंगे I'm sacrificed to the Guru. बलिहारे जाना कि मैं अपना सब कुछ देने को तैयार हूँ. You know, I'm so impressed. I'm so much in love with you. I can give you everything, including my life. So life becomes very important, right? So,
yeah. Another way to interpret is balihare, sacrifice the home. I think here the sacrifice is dissolving the home, manmat, sacrifice of manmat, home. It's not a real physical sacrifice. It's the mental, giving the mind. Matha tekna jitna hai na? Matha tekna is the significance of sacrificing the man, home. So that's another way to understand. It's more subtle sacrifice rather than a physical material sacrifice.
Hanji. Even when they say like tan man tan, to I can give all to you. This has come in the Gurbani, right? In those words, but it actually does mean ki I have nothing, right? All that home is gone. So everything is yours, whatever I am using. Right? So. Okay, Hanji, let's look more into the servant is God, God is servant. Hanji, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ translation ਕੀਤੀ ਨਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਜਨ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ. So let's understand that without reading the English. Brahma meh jan meh par brahm. The one who is devotee to the God, who has realized and who is that realized being, he says within that realized being, that Vaheguru exists. And in that Vaheguru, also that realized being exists. So it's saying both ways. Right? Brahma jan mein par brahm. And then they clarify, ek hai aap. Then they become one. Right? And there's no doubt that they become one. So easy way to explain this is ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਆਏਗਾ, I think Ashpadi ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਸਰਗੁਣ ਨਿਰਗੁਣ, they explain that it's ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਹੈ, ਨਿਰਵੈਰ, right? All of that, there's no limit. Then they try to explain it that Vaheguru is in both sargun and nirgun roop, and that nirgun means traguna to pare vi haga, Rab, the existence means it's not known to us all, and sargun we have within, it resides within that sargun too, and then that Satguru becomes the sargun roop of that Vaheguru, of that Parbrahm. And then calling somebody in that true form of Satguru, that's where Kine Kaltaran Guru Nanak Aya. Right? So it's not easy to find somebody whom you can call that also. And did we use the term enlightened here? Gosh, I mean, see, you can use all terms here. You can see it's merged is better for Sikhi. They're merged. No, they're merged after enlightenment. First, they realize, they become aware. There's that awareness which comes. Then enlightenment is something else. Enlightenment is that knowledge flowing, how much you're enlightened on, right? There's different aspects of enlightenment. And there's a one merging, and then there's a liberation, which is now your mukhat. You've reached that state of, and then you can argue which one is first. Is the mukti first or the enlightenment of the knowledge there? But they're kind of all together too. But yeah, I would call more of it, they're merged together after they have been enlightened. In a way, I should say that when a human is born, he's born enlightened. And then at that moment, right? And then it all goes away, right? Any human who is born enlightened, and right, it depends how much, along with all the package which comes, right, of home and ego and all. So that knowledge is there. Now, how do you merge with that one light is the path. Safal darsan pekhat puneet parsat charan gat nirmal reet petat sang ram gun rave par brahm ki dargah gave sun kar bachan karan आघाने मन संतोख आत्म पतियाने पूरा गुर अख्यो जाका मंत्र अमृत दृष्ट पेखे होए संत गुण बेअंत कीमत नहीं पाए नानक जिस पावे तिस लय मिलाए. Safal darsan pekhat puneet, parsat charan gat nirmal reet. Petat sangram gun rave par brahm ki dargah gave. So he's telling about a seeker who comes in the company of Sadhguru. He says, Safal darsan pekhat puneet. Says the Safal, you have succeeded in life if you have had his darshan, if you've had a vision of him, if you Safal darsan pekhat puneet. You know, and pekhat, when you have a glimpse of his darshan, pekhat is dekhna, puneet, you get purified, and then you are blessed and you are succeeded in this life. Even his darshan, receiving his darshan, one is purified. Parsat charan gat nirmal reet. Is by touching his feet of the Sadhguru. Your lifestyle becomes pure. Your conduct and your life becomes pure. You get a touch of that purity in itself on this earth, and you naturally become pure. Your lifestyle naturally becomes pure. Petat sang ram gun rave. And by being in his company, you start to praise that Vaheguru, Ram Gun Rave. You start to chant that Vaheguru's gun. And then what happens? Par Brahm ki dargah gave. Gave means pahunch jana. Then you reach the door, the court, the presence. You go into the presence of that Vaheguru through Sadhguru, by his darshan, by his company. Sunkar bachan karan aghane, man santokh atam pratyane. Says through him you listen to karan aghane, right? You listen to his teachings. Sunkar bachan jehde unhone kahe hain, and your ears become so tripat ho jande hain, aghane, satisfy ho gaye. Man santokh atam pratyane. Man vi santokh ho gaya, pura content ho gaya, and your soul patij gai, patyane, it's totally fulfilled. It is full with all the faith now. Kisi ne na nahi kiti, none of your ears or soul or your man, you know, not accepted. Hanji.
Is it the word darshan, is it a physical meaning? When you say darshan, darshan of what? Is it of some physical being or spiritual darshan? What does darshan mean? Physical or what?
No, ethe physical, yeah, because he's telling about the Sadhguru. He's telling about that Sadhguru as a physical form. This Ashpadi is about a Sadhguru, about the person who has. Then for us, what becomes is, we are, for us as Sikhs, right? We have our Sadhgurus in history written in the body forms. And then we also are told that our Gurbani, the Sarup, the whole Sarup together of Guru Granth Sahib is a Sadhguru for us. So it kind of, I mean, if you try to relate to that, then the darshan of that, understanding of that Bani, being with that Gurbani, understanding it is a darshan for you too. Reading that Bani and understanding that which Sadhguru has given you also becomes a darshan for you. Right? Os through hi darshan ho rahe hain na. Sunkar bachan karan aghane man santokh atam pratyane. He says all of these, your karan, your soul, your mind, they all accept it so fully and they get completely satisfied. And that's like, somewhere I think it tells also, right? That's the first indication of your, your realization too, right? That something is happening. You can find more peace. You're finding more acceptance within you, even if you're not doing any effort. Right? So Pura Gur Akhyo Jaka Mantra. This is not telling about that Sadhguru's, what he says, his teaching, mantra, teaching Kalo, right? The mantra is the knowledge, the secret knowledge he's giving you, that like that's what the mantra is, mantra dasta, right? So akhyo, it's like it's never to be destroyed, everlasting, forever. His teaching is everlasting. Pura gur, and he is the perfect pura. Pura means koi aab nahi hega. Right? It's a perfect guru. Pura guru badi bari aanda hai Gurbani vich. Pura gur, right? It just says Amrit disht pekha hoye sant. He says, beholding his ambrosial glance, one becomes also saint. You yourself become saintly. Guna beyant कीमत नहीं. Once you see him in that operation, when you see him, that's what happens to you. You yourself become saint. Guna beyant कीमत नहीं पाए, नानक जिस पावे तिस लय मिलाए. He says there's so many beyant, endless qualities, virtues. कीमत नहीं पाए. You cannot weigh them. We cannot be appraised. Then in the end says, oh Nanak, jis paave tis lay milai, that Vaheguru, whoever he's pleased with, have him meet a Satguru also.
Leena ji?
Hanji.
Let's talk a little more about this darshan. Darshan is not meaning physical seeing, physical looking. It has to be realization rather than just physical sight.
It is both. It is both. It is, see, darshan of his, being him in the physical form, darshan, when you are in connection to that, it helps you to connect. But here it is trying to see, right? Chado pekhat akha nal darshan, pekhna aa gaya na, pekhat puneet, pekh darshan dekh le. He says then also you become purified. But right, then people argue, right? In true Satguru's times also there were many who would never reach to that state. Una de again na blindfold aaya hai. They are with them, but there are all kind of people, right, within their family also who were doing wrong things. But here it is saying that safal darshan pekhat dekh ke, one is purified. It does say that. And then in a way, seeing a sakhya vich aanda hai, you hear from others, like seeing such beings in that meditative form when they are themselves connected. Okay, and then a Buddha da ki statue banaya hua hai, right? It does do, tode mind nu kuch impression aanda hai na, it leaves something to you. And then through that bodily perception, you're able to receive that much easier. So understanding is easy for you to receive, ki sab kuch ho khyalan vich hi chhod dena ki, right? It does have an impact.
Yeah, but on Jidda, the Taliban again, they are destroying all these statues of Buddha. They have no, when they have darshan of Buddha statue, it doesn't do anything to them.
No, but then that is a statue of Buddha, right? And you compare it with when they say, and then it's not, see, we are also talking about Satguru here, and then there's a whole historical writings and in Bani also that Guru Nanak, through his presence, cured so many, even like kings, right? Or vade Raje Akbar, o sab aake vi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, because he was in that darshan form. ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ, we have to imagine it. But ਪੱਥਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ, ਪੱਥਰ ਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੱਥਰ ਹੀ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਰਜੀ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੈ, right, it depends more upon ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗ ਬਣਾਈ ਆ, ਕਿੰਨੇ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਪੱਥਰ ਬਣਾਇਆ. Even if you are connected to that consciousness who made that ਪੱਥਰ, at the extreme, what will happen to you is ਜਿਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, if you still have that awakened consciousness, right? So nahin ji, it is the Satguru darshan for us, but we need to realize ki for us it is the Gurbani too. It is our understanding of Gurbani that ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਸਮਝ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਾਈਟ ਇਟਸ ਮੋਰ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਟਰਾਈ ਟੂ ਰਿਲੇਟ ਟੂ ਦੈਟ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੀਲ ਆ ਗਈ ਨਾ that is a darshan, that's a true darshan. Kis tarah bhi aa gayi, dekh ke aa gayi, pad ke aa gayi, that's a different thing.
Yeah, so it's awareness and realization means darshan. Without that, millions look at physically.
Hanji.
Kinne Mughal, look at how many Atyachari jede Mughal aaye si, they all of them saw the gurus. Right. Many of them saw them, but many of them did not convert. They still try to, you know, hurt them, kill them, punish them, because they did not get converted just by their darshan. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Lalo, I mean, you know, how many Mughals, they want to go after him to kill him, but they all had seen him. So that's the physical darshan here is probably has to, the meaning has to be realization and awakening and awareness as darshan, or witnessing.
Yeah,
see there's two, I just want to have that thought in Paulji. See there is three states of you. There's one state which is having darshan in ignorance. There's a one state of you which is having the darshan with longing. There's one state of you which is blinded, which is not accepting, and which already has that thing around it that it's, oh, this is something which is my enemy because it's a different religion. So there are three states. If you go by the third state, you're anyway blind. You cannot realize it. Let's talk about a common man who is ignorant. Let's talk about that person. If somebody like that has a darshan for such a being who is connected to Vaheguru in that state, in that meditation state, and you can say that Sadhguru is always in that state, but that also has an effect for an ignorant person. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ yearn who has a longing ਵਾਸਤੇ ਗਏ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਫਿਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ. So those are the different things, right? It's upon who is going there, who is having that darshan, because you can realize yourself there are certain places where you just feel that ignorantly, you feel that. Suppose you go there with yearning, right? Kai places ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ, then you even feel that even more. ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹੀ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਹੋ ਨਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, right? It's not going to be any use. Then anyway you're blinded by that so much ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ sense ਖੁੱਲੇਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ. Right? So that's what happens in those times. There were so many who were just blinded by total of this, fundamentalist of this religions ਕਿ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੇ. Right? So, but it's just trying to get you aware of that, them being present, and whole Gurbani is like that. He says, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਸ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਆਣਾ ਹੀ is making it, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਵਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾਮ ਵਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ they even make it more accessible to you. That's the blessing with Satgurus. They are in that bodily form. If you want to access it, they make it more accessible to you. That's what the darshan is for you. Right? Hanji, Paulji.
No, it's okay. I think, Avtaji, I think we all see things from different points of view. And I think everybody's right from wherever they are trying to see. Yes, an enlightened soul is get the wisdom, get the capacity, and all that stuff. But to my understanding from Babaji's Bani, whoever he wishes to also show his form, he also does that. कि जिसका उन्होंने बुआ खोल के दिखाना ना अपने आप को, जो भी रूप है रब दा, वो कहते कि वो दिखा भी दिंदा है. And one comment or thought goes, remember that Baba Freedji, I think about कौवे वाली कहानी कि रबा तू मेरा कौवा तो मेरा सारा शरीर खा रहा है, पर मेरे अखां ना खाए क्योंकि मैं हाली रब नूं देखा नहीं है, मैं देखना चाहना. Obviously he was a very evolved soul. I'm sure on the inside he was fully enlightened, but he still had the desire to physically see God in a physical form. So when I look at from that point of view, it is both inside eyes as well as the outside eyes. Outside eyes, just to confirm कि भाई रब कहता कि जिसनों मैं दिखाना चाहना आपने उन्हें मैं दिखा भी देना. I will come to you and show yourself. उनका ही बानी दे पंक्तियां दसती हैं कि रब कितना सोना है, कितना kind है, warm है, loving है. He has this beautiful form. That is his form. Whoever wishes to show, he will show. So again, I think they are all true from their point of view. Evolved soul, enlightened soul, awareness, consciousness, they're all fine. They're different roots and different forms of it. But then if he wishes to show somebody his own form, then he does show that too. That's my understanding, at least. I could be completely wrong, but that's my understanding.
I think just adding, darshan is our own visualization, because भगवान का दर्शन ते कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि उनकी कोई फॉर्म ही नहीं है. This is what you imagine. भाई ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए. It is, I think, your own imagination. So there's no way you can see the God directly. It has to be in some form, because he doesn't have any form anyway, as described everywhere in the Gurbani or everywhere.
Yeah. Jado, I think when the darshan is here, the line in this line, darshan is used for Satguru. Whenever the line darshan is used for Parbrahm, then of course it's more of a you having that insight darshan. But when they're saying here for Satguru darshan, that's what I think we were.
Yeah, even in Satguru, you need to be spiritually connected. You just see with the eyes and forget about it, because you need some feeling and connection and love. Then only you really get a feel of darshan.
Yeah, Devji, I think, Bani does, to my understanding, it talks about both forms of it. Yes, he's invisible, nobody can see him, there's no roof, there's nothing. But at the same time, there are other parts of the Bani that at least my understanding, the way I get it, is if he wishes to show himself, he does show to whoever he wishes to show. They are not in our hands. So they're both contexts are there. And again, just a matter of perception, how you want to see it. Yes, you're also right कि भाई अगर तुसी तुहानू feel आ गया, तुहानू आनंद आ रहा है, तुसी उसकी enjoyment कर रहे हो, that's also one form of it. But he has infinite number of forms at the same time. So उसका केड़ा पा किसनू की देना उसने ओयो रंग जाना है, क्योंकि ओयो देने वाला है तो ओयो समझाने वाला है. It's beyond my capacity, at least, But that's the understanding, at least I'm absorbing or getting to comprehend, shall we say, and trying to keep always Babaji's Bani in front of us to be absolute truth. And from that truth, whatever we can all attain, what resonates comfortably, we just kind of go along with that.
And it's an effort to realize that one true being by different descriptions, right? To Guru Gobind Singh, tab sarv naam katha kavan karam naam varnat sumat. बयान करते रहंदे हैं अपने अपने कर्मानुसार सारे तेनु बयान करते रहंदे हैं, right? So that's why then he says it's difficult to byaन, right? So and then they always say रूप ना रेख ना रंग किछ.
Yes. So it can look very controversial and opposite to each other, but then same thing with light, behaving like particle and wave at the same time. Scientists could never kind of come to that conclusion. How can it be? They're completely 180 degrees off. But the reality of life is, it is. So they have to accept it, just like your darkness and light, right? The absence of light is the darkness. So what can you say?
Yeah, one way to understand it, I think, is, again, Guru does not have a wish of his own. Guru is available to everyone. Guru is not discriminating. The Paramatma is not discriminating. Satguru is not discriminating कि केनु दिखाना है, केनु नहीं दिखाना है. It's not their wish कि एनु नहीं दिखाना है, एनु दिखाना है. It's the wish, and the shortcoming is in the viewing of the observer. It's the observer या जेड़ा बंदा जानदा है देखन, state of mind of that observer determines कि whether Guru is revealed to that person or not, depends upon the home state of mind of the person who is looking. Home is a kind of a parda. So the whole responsibility comes on the observer or the person who has gone to see or go to have the darshan. If that person has blocked a vision because of Homme, Guru cannot reveal to him. But it's not Guru's wish that not revealed to him. It's the person's own state of mind which the person has chosen to elect, which is the parda on that person's wisdom to be able to see what Guru wants to see. So if we look at that way, now there is a solution to the problem. Because now the person has a free will and a responsibility to be able to see the reality as is.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's left to, oh, hoya, nahi hoya, Guru the wish hagi, now there is no solution. There's no way out now, because now it's all matter of roulette, chance and luck. But Gurbani is very specific to awaken the person who's looking, so that dissolving the Homme, person can see through, to remove the clouds so the person can see the blue skies. It's a very definite thing. It's not a roulette game ki kisi nu hoya, kisi nu nahi hoya. Gurbani is very clear ki if you Homme buje tadar suje. So darshan is there if Homme is resolved. Now, it is no wishy-washy thing here. It's not a roulette game. Because Gurbani has to be very specific and clear. Otherwise, it's not a quantum mechanics. It's not a roulette game. The probability. Gurbani is absolute. So is the quantum mechanics is not a complete science, because that's why it has probabilities. So there is something missing there. Once that missing thing is added, there's no more probabilities left. Then it becomes absolute. Ek Onkar is absolute, not a probability thing. Kisi nu milya, kisi nu nahi milya, or there is a wish somewhere where there's a discriminating one versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be absolute.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically, these are, I think, some aspects to be considered.
Hanji, nicely. Absolute Sat, right? That's very nice. Shall we move on?
Completely great comments, I think, of Taji, which makes all good sense. No issue there. But if that's a barrier, उसने dissolve करने वास्ते भी मालिक दी रहमत चाहिए है ना. बंदा किन्नी try करे, किन्नी ऐसी कर सकते हैं बाबा जी कृपा करो, तुम्हारी रहमत और बख्शिश नाल ही वो निकलनी है, क्योंकि as a human being there's no way I can get rid of it. It is just पता है कितने जन्मां दा कूड़ा चढ़े होया है, पर आप जी दी मेहर पर नजर पै गई ते एकदम ही निकल जाएगी. You know, I'm just, I don't know if there's a better solution than that. I have no idea.
I think Homo is part of existence, it's among everybody. So Homo is a part of existence. It's not that somebody have it or other don't have it. It's a package, it's part of the package of existence.
So first, that is true, but see, Homo, the Gurbani che likha na, Homo dissolves with the company of those who don't have it. And that's what Satguru is, that's what Gurbani is, right? And that's where all the practices are made. So the more you stay in that state with those, right? It is Saat Sangat kende hai na, jithe Homo nahi hai, the more you stay in that state, the more it's dissolving. Right? Tohi kende na, naam nal raho.
So Homme is not existence. Existence is what does not change with time. Absolute existence is eternal, that does not change with time, which is Ek Onkar. Homme is only like clouds in the sky. The blue skies are existence. Clouds are come and go. So Homme is cloud on the intellect. That can be removed. It's not existence. Gurbani says it's a param. It's a lack of absolute vision. So Gurbani is trying to remove that curtain. It's a curtain on the vision. So it's like a cataract, which is, it's like a cataract, but it can be taken out by proper surgery. And Gurbani is trying to take out the cataract of Home from the vision. So you can have 20/20 vision. And so it's existence, but it's a disease. Home dirag rog hai. Tadeta Gurbani ne kya? Home, it's a rog, it's a disease, which can be cured with meditation or surti or whatever that is. So it exists so long as there is no surti, because surti cures it and takes it away. But it's not eternal existence.
Well, that's why naam jap jap ke hi home niklegi na, holy, 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 you know. So with his grace, naam japanda, with grace, home kar dega, with his grace, apne darshan baksh dega, you know. So you are probably, you know, completely true in your statement. There's no issue there. So agar home temporary hai, if it's only our created stuff as human beings, then jithe rog hai uda fir dawai bhi hai na. Fir babi kande tade te naam dawai hegi hai, naam ape japanda hai, ape usne home karni hai aur ape apne darshan bakshne hai, you know. We do our part with his kindness, and then he put the final results, whatever that may be, whenever it wants to be, you know.
I have to add too, home is not only rog, it says home badda rog hai, daru bhi usmahi. So if it is not only disease, it also have solution. This is how you see it, how you want to attain it. It depends on you. It's not always bad. It's good too. Daru bhi usmahi. So how
I
you
think I can,
see it.
Hanji, I was going to say that, but there's one very good example. Maybe if we relate to that, it can help. You know, sometimes they give this example. There is a water underneath in a sea, and there are waves on top of it, right? There's an awareness of you. How do you use it? Do you use it always with the waves, or you have a feeling of what is underneath, right? But you need the same home to experience both. But where is it you are directing it to? So, and then they just all relate to that, you know, all this Maya and everything, and we're all our life, we always remain to that with the waves. We just keep carrying away, which are so fake, but we never realize that underneath water. And that's what we try to do. Bani Pardeya, ya kuch hai, we are in that state now of the stability of that water, which also exists, which has an existence too. But then waves also have that existence for us, right? So nice, very nice. Thank you, Avtarji, for all the great.
No, thank you, Leena ji. Shall we?
Everybody.
So it's okay. We'll continue next week.
Hanji, we'll continue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the comments.
Thank you, Leena ji.
Bye.